Greetings, Internet. DDA here, and welcome to the ultimate conclusion of last weekly casual play at Portal Comics and Gaming. This time we have the finals. The finals match between these two undefeated players. We actually had 16 people come out for this weekly play today. So we actually had two matches that were undefeated. Pretty crazy. Everyone is clamoring about this new Set 4 jump to Lightspeed. But today we have bringing you probably the two best players in our local meta. I think anyone in our local meta would probably agree with me by saying this. I have no issue not putting myself in that bucket. I know where my struggles are as a competitive player, and it is definitely in execution. But these two players we have on this video here are incredible, seasoned competitive players. We have Harrison on double yellow Han, and Logan on red Piett, this time red Piett, mixing it up. We have a previous video of him on yellow Piett, and Harrison is actually a veteran Sabine player, but surely a Spike, because he is trying out these meta decks to make sure he fully understands them going into the Set 4 Jump to Lightspeed competitive meta. And of course, Yellow Han was standing at the top of the meta in Set 3, and as we all know, metas don't really change that much. They do change a little, but not that much. So double yellow Han is surely still a top tier 1 meta deck. Harrison starting out here with the Han power, going to do a turn 1 3-drop play against a red-green deck. That is a very good play. Logan responding with the Prepare for Takeoff, getting the Ruthless Raider and Resupply Carrier. Now, Prepare for Takeoff is a good card. It's a good card to set up for Piett. However, it is an incredibly slow play. Like, if Logan ends up, he just drew into Resupply or another Prepare for Takeoff. He actually has a Merciless. This is interesting. I actually really like this. Given the Prepare for Takeoff opener, the Merciless contest is a great follow-up play to that. If you're going into Piett knowing that you're not really going to play a turn 1 unit, Merciless is an excellent card. So really happy to see that in Logan's list, and could be the punishment that he needs, punishing the Han deck. Because of course, yep, the Merciless here, very strong here. Because you have to think, it's not 1-for-1, right? It's actually not 1-for-1. You are actually 2-for-1ing the Han deck, because he already burned a card in order to play that Liberated Slaves early. So I don't think that Harrison was considering the Merciless play from the red-green deck. Very interesting, but going to drop down the Kira. You can see how aggressively Harrison is Han powering in these early stages of the game. Incredibly aggressive Han powers over here. So we have a Merciless and 2 Resupply Carriers. The Resupply Carrier is not next turn. He needs 5 resources. So thinking that the Merciless would be the correct call there. Not having a unit for the Overwhelming Barrage either. Taking out that early game play from Piett. The double Merciless play would have been great against Han. You know, double punish, double 2-for-1s. But unfortunate there, the Han showing the tricky yellow, the yellow tricks that he has. Being able to play around the control decks, showing the power of double yellow. But it's a good thing Logan did draw a play. He drew the MC30. The MC30 being one of the best turn 3 plays for Piett, pushing in for 6 damage overwhelm in space for only 4 resource. Han getting in that damage, and then doing a Bodhi Rook as well. Probably going to take the Overwhelming Barrage. Yeah, really good plays here by Harrison. Wow. Just incredible bold decisions here by Harrison, knowing that Bodhi Rook has targets after seeing that hand with the Kira. Just really great plays here. So, Han is in my opinion the hardest deck to use in Star Wars Unlimited. I have played most leaders, I would say. At least 50% of the leaders I've played, I would say. And in my travels, I've played a lot of Han. In my travels, I don't think that there is a deck that is harder to play than Han because of the risk that's involved with Han. Because it's an upfront risk, right? You don't know what your opponent is going to do. You're risking that self 2-for-1 with a lack of knowledge, but you can see that the double yellow helps you combat that detriment of Han by giving you the hand disruption. So now what I'm interested to see here, after doing the resupply carrier into the Admiral flip, is Harrison is going to go straight base. I love this. After being so hard on Matt and Django and his Django plays, doing work for the opponent, you can see here Logan is going into the Kira. And again, he is playing a controlling game. He needs to slow the Han's damage because Han is going to 7 play here and do the Han solo, burning his full hand, and then pushing in another 6 damage. Wow. Now, Logan does have that Merciless, but it is not a great Merciless when you have to give up one of your units. He does have that open fire, but he can only really take out the Kira with the open fire. Very unfortunate there. He would love to have a turbo laser salvo in his hand. Turbo laser salvo would be incredible. It would take out Bodhi, Kira, and get both Hans to 1 HP. So that's the card that he wants to see right now. A turbo laser salvo. Because it would immediately save him 6 damage and set up to take out the rest of his units. But unfortunate, we are just seeing the open fire and then lots of space units. But Han, not worried about the space. Han is just pushing in the ground arena. And we are kind of seeing this tug of war between these meta decks. Between the space and the ground arena. Han having, 16 damage in the ground arena. And Piett dropping down the Devastator, getting that choice of where to put that indirect damage, taking out the Kira, and then putting in an additional damage on base. I would have maybe done 1 damage to the Han unit, because I don't think 1 damage to base is going to matter too much. Or maybe, let's see, the Kira needed 3. Yeah, so he only had 1 hanging, so yeah, I'm thinking actually, probably 1 damage to the Han, hoping to draw the turbo laser salvo to finish off the Han unit in the ground. He does still have 13 damage coming in on the ground arena, getting Piett up to 26. The Hotshot Blaster is going to take that to 28. So this is going to be the final turn here. This is kind of what I'm saying. This is how you know you need to push in with Piett hard. Because, Piett is going to get 10 damage and then have 19 damage next turn. Double hot shot. This is lethal. And they're going to pack it up. Look at how you can see when high caliber players play each other, they play with a certain assumption of each other, and it's great. I actually really enjoy it. Because, no fuss, no muss. As soon as Logan saw the second hot shot, he knew it was over. No fuss, no muss. Just pack it up. Go into game 2. 9 minutes lightning fast for that first game. Going to the Han double yellow. As expected, honestly, as expected, I would expect that Han Double Yellow would run over this matchup, which is why everyone is saying that Piett Red is... Oh, I'm sorry, hold on. Let me make sure I get this right. Piett, not Piat. Piett. I saw your comment. Thank you. Hey, I try my best with these Star Wars names. I am a Star Wars fan, but the Star Wars universe is vast and names are complicated. Greetings, Internet. DDA here. So, yes, names are complicated, but this is what I would expect. I would expect the Double Yellow Han to just run over Red Piett. Piett. Because what is Piett doing to the Double Yellow Han? What tools does Red Piett have to combat the Double Yellow Han? It really is just OB and Turbo Laser Salvo. That is it. Like, as everyone talks about the Piett play being, oh, you know, the resupply carrier into bombardment or Ruthless Raider into bombardment, that's great. But if the opponent has 20 HP in units, does the 12 damage from the planetary bombardment matter? I don't think so. So what Logan needs to really do here, taking the role of the controller in this matchup, is clear Han's board. Logan did a great job in the early game with those early Merciless. Those early Merciless plays were excellent, and is what you want to do against Han. It just so happens that Harrison had the counter. Harrison had the Kira into Merciless, seeing the OB into Bodhi, killing the OB. Like, it was a perfect sequence to take out the tools that Logan needed to potentially win this match. Because an OB for 7 on the MC30 would have taken out the Han unit, or Han leader, would have severely limited. Yeah, because if he would have did that, if he would have gotten the OB off for 7 to take out Han leader, then Harrison wouldn't have been able to do the 7 play. And then it's just a completely different game, because then Harrison loses that Han damage, doesn't kill Piett, and then loses the extra 6 damage that he had from the Han unit. It would have just been a completely different game. So we are going to have to see how this next game... Oh, and right in. Right, the Falcon right in for the kill. Not letting Piett have a leg up on the Han deck. The tug of war is imminent. So now Han, of course, traditionally, Han has been a crazy strong in both arenas, really. But in today's day and standard of what a space aggro deck is and what space decks are doing, Han is actually light in space in the double yellow version, because what do you got? You got the Falcons. Pretty much, that's where it ends for double yellow. And Falcon is strong, but Falcon is not strong when you're comparing it to the onslaught that is the Piett capital ship. But seeing the open fire and then immediately responding with the Bodhi to take out one of the events, getting that overwhelming barrage, definitely the correct pick there, because Han is not too concerned if Piett wants to blow the force choke on Bodhi or Han. Either way, Han is actually happy about that. And I remember playing Han. I remember playing Han a lot, and when my opponent would force choke my Han leader, I actually liked it, because it doesn't kill Han, and I get a card draw. So I still get my 7 play, and I get a card draw. And if you know Han, you know that the worst thing about Han is how much he burns cards, and you want to draw cards. So that was a very tactical decision there from Harrison, and throwing down this Kira. Surely to name the resupply carrier here, he could name resupply carrier, or he could name Cham. Cham would enable the deploy, though. And did he Han power? No, he did not Han power yet. So naming the resupply carrier is the play, yes, and Logan is going to follow up with the prepare for takeoff. I would have actually thrown out the Cham if I was Logan. This is too slow. This is too slow of a play for the Piett deck. Because Han, double yellow, I know you only have 3 damage on your base right now, but that number is about to go much, much higher. And this is just draw 2. Like, prepare for takeoff is 2 draw 2. That's what it is. And it's good, but it's slow. And you would never prepare for takeoff against Sabine. Like, think of Han double yellow as a different version of Sabine. Because that's what it is. It is an aggro. It's an aggro deck. Han is more of a tempo aggro, whereas Sabine is more traditional aggro. But aggro nonetheless, and you would never spend 2 resource to draw 2 against Sabine. You would never do that. And just kind of play this controlling game. What are we going to see from the Piett here? The resupply carrier with Piett. So yeah, it looks like Harrison did name the Cham there, so he couldn't have Chammed last turn. That is why he prepared for takeoff then. Okay. Okay, so he did name the Cham last turn to prevent the play. Good on Harrison. Honestly, great to see that line from Harrison. Just kind of not obvious because Logan wasn't going to get the ramp there, but just preventing the power from being on board in the ground arena just kind of frees Harrison up to push in all this damage. Look at this damage that's about to come in. Return +4. Return +4 on the Kira. Logan's completely tapped out here. This 7 damage is going to strike true, as they would say. As the kids would say. Logan claiming doesn't want to give Piett... See, if I was Logan, I actually deploy into this. And I know it's a choice. I know that it's scary to do. But the reason you do is you already resupplied carriered, so you're already ramping. And if Harrison wants to waste the 7 damage to kill Piett, that's actually good for you. Because it's like, think of it as 7 heal. Right? Like, so yeah, it sucks that you lose your Piett leader, but you're actually healing your base for 7. Because now Logan is at 19 with 12 damage in the ground arena. And a very limited number of answers that Logan can do. Turbo Laser Salvo would only take out 1 of those units. Overwhelming Barrage would only take out 1 of those units. Pretty much every answer that Logan has only takes out 1 of those units. So this is a very tough spot for Logan. Having 19 damage on the base. And you can see the differences in this game when you decide to just push base hard. But that is the knowledge that you need, though. That is the knowledge that you need playing Piett. Because you know that the aggro deck is just going to push base. So there's no reason to hold back the Piett deploy. Because if they take him out, it's just heal 7 on the base. But here, you know, the action economy is not there for Logan. He can deploy now, but the question is, what is he deploying into? And it's funny that this is the situation that Logan is in right now, because this is kind of what I found with Cham myself. Because you would think that Cham would just be an auto win against Han with how much he jumps resources, but I have found just the awkward curve play is just kind of weird. And it just makes it very awkward to play against Han a lot of the time. And I have actually since kind of dropped down on it. I used to want to play it main with all the Han decks floating around. But I've dropped down on it because it just doesn't hit the way that you want it to. And we're kind of seeing here, yep, and that is the end of the game. Like, he has the pump, he has the damage, he had the hot shots, he had all the damage that he needed to end the game. And, like, as we're seeing, like, even if Logan would have turbo ramped. Yeah, he was looking for the turbo laser salvo. I understand, but it still was only 1 unit, even if he found it. Tap out for 1 unit. And then I think Harrison still has lethal there. But we're kind of seeing, you know, like, if you don't play in Piett's arena, if you just go full ground, you can just rush Piett down. And then what is he going to do? He's going to Devastator and kill one of your units, and then he's just going to lose because he's going to have too much base damage. We just kind of see that here with the speed of these decks. So, very interesting display of what is often considered the best Piett deck. And the 3 Chams. Yeah, Logan putting them aside because I think he realizes what I realize as well about this card, playing it in double red mace. It just doesn't hit the way that you want it to. And I don't know what it is. I think it's the 4 cost, maybe. Like, traditionally, ramp cards you want to play on 3. Yeah, and like it just gives like this really awkwardness because like if you go 4 to 5 and then deploy, I guess then you could do a 7. But what red, green 7 are you playing? Like the 7 that you want to play is in blue, the Fleet Interdictator. So yeah, really weird, but interesting matches between these two top tier players in our local meta. So if you like this video, we have so many match videos coming. Please hit that subscribe button and check out Random Number Gaming, all of our great match videos that we have on this channel. And if you like this match video and commentary, hit that subscribe, hit that like button, and thank you so much for joining us. We've been getting so many new subscribers to the channel, and just so happy that everyone is loving the new Jump to Lightspeed meta. This is such a fun meta. So many great leaders. I think they hit the sweet spot with the power level of the leaders that they need to do. So they know now what level of power they need to give the leaders to make them have meta impact. And we are seeing just so many fun leaders come out in this new set. So thanks for joining us, and please stay tuned.